Alright, what's poppin', people? Welcome in. This is BigRiverNation.com back here with another video, and today we are going to be ranking every single NBA team's mid-season review. So basically what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be basically ranking these teams on how they've been performing since we're kind of midway through the season. So I think it's time for me to do another grading on these NBA teams, you know what I mean? So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, make sure to go join the Discord, the link is in the description. Make sure you guys as well you hit the link in the description. Make sure to go join the Discord. The actual Discord link is in the description now. So if you guys want to join the Discord, make sure you guys hit it. It should but you guys right to my Discord link, so make sure you guys go join the Discord there. Make sure you guys do follow me on Twitch, Miller28. I will be live for every single Xbox stream, and right now I'm still kind of working on getting my Switch streams in there as well, so you guys can watch that from both sides as well. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitch, Miller28. I'm not gonna have a lot of followers right now, but make sure you guys go ahead and do that as well. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the tiers. Honestly, we have S, A, B, C, D, and F, because that's the tiers that we all do this on, right? And like I said, we're going to be ranking on teams, how I think they've been performing since kind of like we're now in midpoint of the season. And yeah, I mean, make sure you guys go check out our NBA Weekly Pick Shows. We do that every single Monday or Tuesday, mainly Tuesdays, if you guys are new here to the channel. So make sure you guys do that. We me and the guys, we pick every single NBA game every week, and it's a lot of fun. So make sure you guys come join us for that every single Tuesday or Monday. So yeah, come join us for that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get going with the tiers. So S tier basically means they've just been dominant all year. A tier means they've been they've been good. B tier means they've been okay. C tier means they've been alright, but it could still have a lot of work to do. D tier means they haven't really been that good, and F tier means they've been dog shit. So hopefully you guys understand that. Alright, so enough with the talk. Now let's go ahead and get to the tiers. So now we get to start off with the Phoenix Suns. They're C tier right now, but definitely not off to the greatest start to the year. Yeah, they have been dealing with some injuries. You know, Devin Booker's been out of the roster. Kevin Durant's been in and out of the roster. Bradley Beal's been kind of in and out of the roster. But for at the moment, this team, they're playing all right, but they're not playing the basketball that I thought we were going to be seeing them to play basketball. Like I said, you're still halfway in the season, still have a long time to turn around. But for right now, I don't think this team is playing as good as you would think. You know what I mean? It's just something's just slightly off with the Phoenix Suns right now. I mean, and you can say the same thing about another team coming up here. We'll get into momentarily. Next, we got the Detroit Pistons. B tier. Pistons ain't playing that bad, y'all. You guys may think this is a bad team, but no, this is not a bad team. The Pistons actually been pretty damn solid this year. Matter of fact, I think they're just 16 as I'm recording this. They're inside the playoff picture right now. Yeah, like the Pistons, I don't think they're bad. They're not a bad basketball team at all. This team continues to find ways to win games. They against the good teams. The team battle hard. It competes in every single game. Cade Cunningham's been going off. Love what I'm seeing from the Detroit Pistons. Honestly, it's been great. Next, we have the Toronto Raptors. F tier, they're horrible. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Toronto didn't have enough depth. I think Scotty Barnes has been out of the roster. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, Toronto, they didn't really have a team to go out there and compete anymore. You know what I mean? The Toronto, they're bad. Excuse me. But this team is bad. They only won 12 games right now this season. They're terrible. They're not going to do anything. Next we have the Charlotte Hornets. You guys remember what I said, that Charlotte is actually not doing too bad this year? They're just doing alright. Yeah, they're doing horrible. I remember a couple weeks ago I called this team an underrated team, and overall I looked like an ass for that, and I deserve it because this team has only won 11 games so far this year. Yeah, the Hornets are horrible. I mean, besides Melo Ball, there's just really nothing to look at there for the Hornets. I mean, they're just awful. Next up, we got the Bucks. I'm gonna say B tier as well. Sure, they did get off to a slow start this year, but they're really starting to pick it up now, and that is really a good sign for the Milwaukee Bucks moving forward. So I will give it up to them, man. Remember, this team was off to a slow start. I think this team was like 6-12 at one point this season. Now they're 29-16 as I'm recording this. So at the Bucks, they really completely turned their season around. The team is starting to be more consistent. I love what we saw from Damian Giannis and Chris is going to get even better when he gets back to his full full strength. Yeah, I like this Bucks team. Especially after the slow starts they had. Yeah, definitely a bounce back. We'll give them a B tier. Next up, we have the Lakers. C tier. I'm gonna tell you this as a Lakers fan. I mean, sitting at 6 games above 500 is cool right now, but we had some bumps and hills on the road. We had some good wins. I mean, against some good teams, and then we had some games that we go out there and get our ass kicked and embarrassed. Like I said, this Lakers team. I mean, we're not bad, but we're too inconsistent. We get one game you'll go out there and beat the Boston Celtics, and then you go out there and the next day you go out there and lose to the Dallas Mavericks team without Luka or Kyrie. Oh man, this team is so damn inconsistent. That's why I can only give them a C tier right now. Next we have the Cavs, S tier. I mean, they're just kicking the shit out of the league. They're kicking the shit out of the East. I mean, it looks like, and we're going to talk about like this way another team in a minute, but the Cavs, they're kicking the shit whoever comes in their path. It's not even fair. Like this team only lost 7 games this year. It's absolutely absurd. Next we have the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, they haven't been bad, but they've just been decent. They're finding ways to win games every now and then. They lose to, and they can lose to anybody. They can win to anybody. We're gonna give them C tier. I mean, I don't think this team is bad at all. You still have Wemby. And you still have a good young core. I don't know. This team is just decent. I mean, I just don't know too much besides like Wemby, Castle, Devin Vassell, whoever I really like. This team got the very young, stunning players, but I gotta give them a C tier for now. They need to be a little bit more consistent with the wins. Next, we have the Miami Heat. Miami Heat are a huge mess right now because of the Jimmy Butler situation. Like we don't know what's happening over there. We really don't, and it's really sad to see. Hopefully, my Miami, I want to stick on to Jimmy Butler because remember the playoffs back in 2021, I think it was, when they were the 8th seed and went all the way down to the Conference Fund Championship. Overall, I mean, this team is solid. I mean, I can't call them bad. They're gonna get a C tier for me because they're kind of like the Lakers. This team is too inconsistent. I mean, they like I said, the Heat, they can go out there and surprise anybody, but they can also go out there and lose to anybody. So it's going to be a C tier for me. Next, we have the Golden State Warriors. D tier. This team has not been that good this year, I'll be completely honest. But then I'll give props to Steph Curry. Steph Curry, he's been amazing this year. But besides that, what are we watching from the Golden State Warriors? Remember what we saw from their offense? But I think it was one of those games that Steph Curry went off the bench and the Warriors only scored like 1 point in about 6 minutes. So if I'm not watching Steph Curry, what am I really watching from there? Plus, the team is just struggling by itself right now, so they got to get not an F tier because I don't think they're horse shit, but D tier. They're not playing good basketball right now. Next, we have Washington, F tier. I think that one is pretty simple. I mean, Washington, they are the worst team in basketball, and I think they will finish with the worst team in basketball. This team has been horrendous, and I think they only won 6 games as me recording this, so overall it's pretty embarrassing. Next, we have Houston, A tier, and I'm proud of putting them up there too. I mean, Houston, they are a damn good team, ladies and gentlemen. They're young, they got good core, they're a good defensive team, they're a good offensive team. They're just a good all-around team. I just love them so much, man. I mean, Jalen Green's been absolutely sensational this year. Love the Dylan Brooks, even though I hate him. Loves what Dylan Brooks has been able to do this year. Kind of just like the whole roster. Remember Thompson, Şengün. I just really love this team. I mean, this team, they just feel so connected so well that, I just have to get the Rockets their props, man. I think they're a good ass basketball team, and I think they will be a playoff team. They look like a playoff team right now. They look good. Next, we got the Clippers. This team, I'm going to give them a B tier. I think the Clippers have been very nice this year. But listen, this team was without Kawhi Leonard basically for a majority of the year, and this team did a really good job of staying above flow in the Western Conference, like staying above water. Now as Kawhi Leonard, as he gets back into like Kawhi Leonard himself, I think the Clippers are going to be even better. So it's been very impressive what they can do without Kawhi Leonard because James Harden has been on a mission this year. So I'll give credit to James Harden. He's been amazing this year. Love what we saw from the reserve players, Zubats, all of them. Kawhi Leonard's coming back, and he's going to come back stronger. Really like this Clippers team. We're going to give them a B tier. Next, we have the Utah Jazz, F tier. I think this team is the worst team in the Western Conference, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they are. The Utah Jazz, they only won 10 games, and they're last place right now in the Western Conference. Plus, like I said, it's kind of like the Warriors, but they're even a worse version of the Warriors. Like, if I'm not watching Lauri Markkanen, I mean, like, what am I watching from this team? I mean, they're terrible. Next we have Denver. Here's the thing about Denver in this game. I'm at Denver in this tier list. They will be getting an A tier easily out of me. But if I'm being completely honest, I mean, Denver, they did start off slow, which means they would be absolutely S tier, but like I said, they started off a little slow, and then they started to pick it back up, and now this team is really looking good and looking like themselves again. I'm kind of back and forth with this team between A and B tier. I don't know where to really decide at Denver right now, but I'm going to put them right here in the A tier because only at the slow start. If this team was not too slow start, they would be an S tier team, if I'm being completely honest. Denver has been really good. They've woken up. Jokic is probably going to be the MVP yet again. Love what we saw from Jamal, and I really love Russell Westbrook. I really like what he's been doing for the Denver Nuggets. It's been absolutely sensational. He looks motivated. He looks happy. He looks like he wants to be there. And when you have a happy Russell Westbrook, your team is going to be good, and that's what we're seeing from the Denver Nuggets. Listen, this team keeps losing people every single year, but like I said, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry a damn thing about Denver. As long as you have Jokic and Michael Malone, you should be just fine. Denver's a good ass basketball team. Next, we have the Atlanta Hawks. There's that definition of C tier because there's that definition of mid. I mean, they're a mid team that can go out there and beat anybody, and they can go out there and lose to anybody. So that's exact definition of Hawks. They're C tier. Plus, it's kind of funny. I think I saw this once that this team was the first team to beat the Cavs twice, but lose to Washington twice. Like this team is just mid, and the record shows it because after recording this, they're at 500 exactly. Moving on, we have the Sacramento Kings. They're going to get a C tier as well. Yep, it was a absolute brutal start to the season. They fired Mike Brown, which I still can't believe they did. But if I'm being honest, I think that did nothing but help him out because ever since then, the Kings have been rolling back, and they have been better or way better as they've been in the beginning of the year. They're starting to become more consistent. Their offense is starting to become more explosive now. Love what I'm seeing from this Kings team, man. I think they're one of the more consistent basketball teams I think we've seen ever since part of their winning streak. They're on the winning ways now, and they're finally above 500. So let's see if they can keep that up. But I love what we're seeing from De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis and all them guys. Though their offense looks pretty damn good again. Next we have the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know, man. I mean, they only won 14 games, but at the same time, they're right there in the Eastern Conference. I mean, this team is bad, but I'm gonna give them a D tier because this team does seem to at least compete with at least the best of the best in the NBA. So I'll give them slight credit for that, but but at the same time, like, do you really want to give full credit to the Brooklyn Nets? I mean, not really. I'm gonna give them a D tier. They barely edge F tier for me. Next, we have the Chicago Bulls, another consistent team that I have to throw in the D tier. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know how this team's in the playing tournament right now. Listen, Zach LaVine's been phenomenal for you guys, but ever since, I mean, Vucevic has been fine too, but besides that, the Bulls, they don't really have enough firepower to keep up. Plus, Kobe White's kind of been in and out of the lineup as well. I just don't really like what we've seen from the Chicago Bulls. They've just been a little too damn inconsistent. Next, we have the Boston Celtics. Okay, all right, hear me out. The Celtics are one of the best teams in basketball. Okay, that's just obvious. But the way how they've been playing right now and recently, we're gonna give them an A tier. Listen, they would be an S tier. Yes, I know that they have an outstanding record, but when your team is 500 over the course of the last 2 weeks, I gotta punish you for that, man. Like the Celtics, they should be way better than that. No, I'm not saying, but like I said, the record's still good. What are they? They're still 17 games above 500 time recording this, but they've been a little shaky ever since 2 weeks. They've been a little shaky, and I have to give them a little step down because of that. So yeah, we're gonna give them an A tier. But if they were playing it as good as they once were, then we will bump them up here to S tier. Next, we have the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to give this team a B tier. I mean, I don't care what you say. Sure, they're on a losing slump. But at the same time, can you blame them? They didn't have Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving for the last 3 weeks or something like that. And I know Kyrie Irving is back. But like I said, I still love what we saw. Like, if you saw that game between Dallas and the Lakers, I love what we saw from the Mavericks, man. PJ Washington stepping up. It's like the reserve players are really good. And the reserve players, they know how to step up when their stars are not in the game. And I think I said which team did I say about staying afloat? The Clippers. They're staying afloat in the Western Conference even without Luka Doncic. It's been very impressive what the Mavs have been able to do. I still like this team a lot. I think their it could be a threat in the Western Conference. I'll give them a B tier. Next we have Memphis, A tier. Grizzlies are fucking there. I told you guys the Grizzlies were going to be good again. They're going to be that 2 seed. Remember I said at the beginning of the year the Grizzlies I expected to be kind of like that team that they were back-to-back 2 seeds in back-to-back years. I think that's what we're starting to see from the Grizzlies, man. Especially I love Zach Edey right beside Jaren Jackson Jr. I love them two back there. In the back court. In the front court. Those two look good. Ja looks good, even though he's been in and out of the lineup. Love we saw from Desmond Bane. I just love their entire starting lineup. Their bench is one of the best in the league. I like the Grizzlies a lot. They're an A tier. Next we got the Pelicans. Okay, hear me out. The Pelicans are an F tier right now because the Pelicans are terrible. They only won 12 games. But like I said, at the same time, can you blame them? My answer here is no. You can't really blame a team who hasn't really had anybody out on the basketball floor. You can't blame a team that was supposed to have a lot of potential and a lot of star power with Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, all these good players, and then they're out for a majority of the year. Like that, are they reserving him an F tier? No, not really, because like I said, they're missing majority of the roster. But as a reality of it, you have to look like you only won 12 games. You probably have to get to the F tier. You know what I mean? Next, we have the Orlando Magic. B tier. Sure, the Magic have kind of been in and out a little bit this year. I think they are at 500 right now as I'm recording this. But the Magic, they've been good over the course of the year. I mean, I'm not going to call the Magic and sit here and call them a bad team because they're not. And they can turn around easily. But like I said, I can't blame them. They're kind of like the Pelicans. I can't blame them too much because they were without Paolo Banchero. They're out Franz Wagner. They're without their top 3 scorers for a good big chunk of this season, and this team is still hanging around in there with the Eastern Conference. So, like I said, can I really blame them that much? Next, we have OKC, elite, one of the best team in the Western Conference. These two teams are the best teams in basketball. I think it's been. I mean, if you watched OKC, you're just expecting the same result every single week. It's kind of like with these two teams. Every single time you expect them to play, it's like win after win after win after win after win. I mean, all you're expecting is just wins between these two. Next, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Listen, Minnesota, to start the year, you guys have been inconsistent as hell. Your offense has not been looking that good. But overall, you're starting to pick it up, maybe just a little bit. Maybe it's just a now thing, but maybe you're just trying to get into a little bit of a groove here. I can only give them a C tier right now because, like I said, this team has been inconsistent as hell. But maybe we start seeing the Timberwolves get a little push here in the Western Conference. Hopefully we start to see that, because when we see that, the Minnesota Timberwolves are fun to watch. And I won't give many credits for Anthony Edwards too, because he's been absolutely phenomenal this year. So yeah, I'm gonna give them a C there. They just need to be a little more consistent as a basketball team, and they need to start stacking up wins. Next, we have the Indiana Pacers. This team was off to a terrible start to begin the year. I mean, the offense did not look good. Defense did not look good at all. And I said earlier in this year that this team has a lot of they have a lot of good weapons on their team. Their team is solid. Have they been playing well? Probably not. But over the course, and they're kind of like those rising teams. They're kind of like Sacramento and Minnesota right now. As the year continued to grow, they have been getting a lot better. Their offense is starting to look better. Their defense is starting to look better. Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, they're starting to play better, and I'm a rewarding for it. I think that they're going to get a B tier for right now. But if they were playing this way to begin the year, I probably would give them at least an A tier. But the Pacers, they've been fine this year. I'm glad they're stepping up. But that slow starts, man. Like I said, in the NBA, you can't really get off the slow starts, and that's kind of what the Pacers did. This team is playing exactly what it was starting right now. They would be a lot higher than a B tier. Next, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, D tier. I mean, like I said, can you really blame them at all? I mean, Joel Embiid's kind of basically been out all year. I think Joel Embiid only played like 3 games this year. Team has not really been that good, and overall this year, they've been pretty disappointing. But like I said, can you blame them? I mean, Tyrese Maxey, he's been really good, and I love him. I love what he was able to do without Joel Embiid in the lineup. But at the same time, is that enough for Philadelphia? I don't think so. I do think this team, it could be a decent team, and I love Paul George too, and I think this team can be really good when they're fully healthy. It's just right now Joel Embiid is really just not playing this year, and the Sixers, and that's causing the Sixers right now, and that's just the reality of it. Next, we got the New York Knicks. Do I give them an A tier? I mean, they've been pretty damn consistent this year, and they've been pretty good while they're at it. 13 in the Western Conference, 13 games above 500. I'll give it to them. I think they're an A tier. Love what we saw from now this team. I thought this team was going to be a little bit of a problem beginning of the year, adding Karl-Anthony Towns to the roster. Fuck that. Never mind. Karl-Anthony Towns, he's been fucking good this year. And then you have Jalen Brunson, he's been good. Mikal Bridges has been good as well. Love the attribution of him. Got OG Anunoby, was a huge sign for their team. I think it was a really big deal out of them. And then they got some really good studs in there. So New York, you're gonna get an A tier for me. You're pretty damn good. And then the last team here, we got the Portland Trail Blazers. F tier. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the Western Conference right now. They don't really have anybody playing that really convinces me. That's why I don't really watch Portland that well, because I know they're 12 games under 500 right now, but Portland, they're not good. It's just plain and simple. This is not a good basketball team. I mean, other than Scotty Barnes, who is injured right now, like I said, kind of like what I'm saying from Charlotte and Toronto, what are we really watching for Portland? Like, what are we actually watching here? I just never liked them. I don't think their team's good at all. Alright, guys, and that is my mid-season NBA rankings on how I think they've been performing and what grade I would give them going into the second half of the season. So like I said, if you guys aren't ready, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, of course. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch, MoneyLord28. And I'll see you guys in the next upload. This is BabyPearsonNation.com. Peace out. Stay safe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.